Welcome, everybody. This is Richard Kuhns, author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons, Chronic Lyme, and Other Skin Parasites on November 14, 2021. I'm here with my co-host, Robin. Hi, Robin. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Richard. Glad to
Great.
see you.
Always great to have you. Today's topic is getting ready for the holidays. Because we have Morgellons and skin parasites, and there's always a possibility that we can be contagious if we're not careful, or infectious, if we want to use that word instead, and split the hairs, same difference. So we're going to talk about some things that we can do to, well, you know, in any family gathering, there's basically three laws to follow. No discussions about politics. No way. No discussions about religion. No way. And no discussion about bugs. So we're a little different. Most people, the rest of the community, it's number one and two. Stay away from politics and religion. We don't talk about bugs either because it just isn't a good. Many people in their families think they're kind of wacky because they do or are infected by skin parasites, and because you can't see these things, and because the doctors don't know how to identify or diagnose them, then they're declared delusional and kind of nutsy by the family. So it's kind of something you don't really want to talk about. Today's update, you know, the goal is to stick with stage one of the diet, unless you're further along in the program, like some of you may be, and you can go into stage two. So our goal is to make it as tasty as we can, and today's update was about cocoa, which, you know, when I read the article that I had quoted in there, I was amazed at the power of cocoa in its antioxidant abilities. It's like 100,000 times more powerful than vitamin C and other things that like acai berry and things like. Wow, it's incredible. So cocoa is a great thing. We do have it in the store. You add some. I love it. I start my day out with a cup of coffee, and I put in the collagen. A scoop of that. I put in a scoop of, you know, a small thing of cocoa, not very much, a tiny spoon. I put in some of our sweet leaf stevia. I stir it up. I put in some cinnamon, stir it up. I add a little half and half, and wow, that is great. And of course, I can have marshmallows, so I put in some of the little tiny marshmallows from time to time, and that is really a treat to start the day off. Well, it may not be at a point where you can handle the marshmallows, but you can handle the cinnamon, the cocoa, and the coffee. Obviously, decaffeinated coffee, if you're on stage one, is a no-no. Any blends of coffee is a no-no. Needs to be a straight, regular, like 8 o'clock coffee, and not be decaffeinated. So,
and the cocoa has to be with alkali, right?
Alkali, yes, the cocoa alkali. You know, this is not a free-for-all for chocolate lovers. You know, it's not go out and get your milk chocolate bar, because that's bad news. Yeah. So we're not into chocolate bars. Now, you know, I thought nobody's ever done it, and I haven't done it. But why not when you make your own bread? Like there's easy recipes to make in chapter 5, how to make your own bread. Why not add in some cocoa and put in a little stevia to sweeten it? What do you think that would be, Robin? Doesn't that sound?
Actually, I'm working on that. I have done that.
Yeah.
I've made chocolate cake, chocolate cookies, and chocolate bread, and I haven't refined the recipe enough to share it yet, but I'm getting there.
Good. Get that recipe there. You know, I was thinking about, I wanted to go back and find your recipe for the the donuts that I published a few weeks ago. I wanted to make them myself, but I ended up making flan last night. So, but anyway, I do want to try your donut recipe. That sounds like a winner. I miss, Dunkin' Donuts is okay, but for most, if you're on stage one, forget it. I can have them if I want them, but stage one, and they're even a challenge in stage two for most of us. Dealing with Morgellons, it's a zero because they got sugar in it, and sugar is pretty much a no-no forever and ever and ever. So, getting ready for the holidays. Obviously, if you're going somewhere and to a family gathering, you want to be socially responsible. This is a working call for those who are in the program. If you're visiting, found somebody on Facebook who sent you here, that's great. You're welcome. We're not here to try to talk you into our program or talk you into anything. You just listen. If you want to ask a question, we may not answer it because if the question isn't pertinent to the book or the diet, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about other things that are out there that people do and try. This is a working call. This technique, this King's Diet, this protocol that I have works. So we don't kind of go off into yonder land and did you hear this, did you hear that? No, I'm not getting into that stuff. So being socially responsible is doing everything that you can to make sure that you're not going to be infectious or contagious to the people with whom you socialize when you go to the family gathering. So first off, you definitely want to be on the King's Diet. You do not want to stray from it. And we're going to be talking about, even if you go someplace, some tips that you may take. Robin's going to share them. I'm going to let her do that. Some tips on how you can make sure that you stick with the King Diet and don't get halfway through the family dinner and start going crazy because you ate something you shouldn't have eaten and it reacted that quick. It can be that fast, 20 minutes. Gosh, so if you go on a family dinner and they are having cranberries and you have those cranberries, within 20 minutes you're going to be going crazy and you're going to be contagious. It's that fast. So you definitely want to be very cautious and very careful as to what you eat and stick with this diet as much as totally possible. So, but before you go there, you want to take your bath. Now, obviously, some of you are in the stage 2 and you're already along the path and maybe you're only into showers. But if you're relatively new, as many of you may be here, and you're starting the program, we recommend 3 baths a day, up to 30 or 40 minutes, using our Nature's Gift. Now, again, we're not here to sell you on anything either. It just turns out that the Nature's Gift is the deep cleaning solution that goes deep into the skin and brings things out. So someone asked last week, how does it work? Well, the solution is liquid carbon. The particle size is 6 angstroms. The analogy I love is, I weigh about 185 pounds. Some ladies might weigh 110, 140, 150 pounds. Some guys weigh more. Now, if you ever gotten a little pebble in your shoe, that pebble might only be less than a gram, a half a gram, a tiny little pebble. And what happens? How long can you walk and be comfortable? You ever have that happen, Robin?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you got to do?
Take off your shoe and get rid of the pebble.
Get that damn pebble out of there, right? So you got this little thing that weighs less than a half a gram controlling you. Well, that's what Nature's Gift is. It's a little tiny carbon molecule, and it doesn't matter what the hell the organism is, it's going to irritate it like a pebble in your shoe, and it's going to have to vacate. It's going to have to leave. So that's how Nature's Gift works, and it gets deep into the skin. So now, I never had the advantage of Nature's Gift back in the 90s. I had to take, so it doesn't matter. If you use Nature's Gift, great. It's a great benefit. Otherwise, I had nearly scalding baths for a half hour, kept having to put that water in, scalding water, put in some Epsom salts or whatever, the old approach, and you want to clean your skin as effectively and destroy those organisms as much as you can, with or without Nature's Gift. Get out, take your shower, wash off. Obviously, we have the advantage of using our bar soaps, which also have Nature's Gift in them, so you can use them in the shower. Get out of the shower. In the beginning with Morgellons and things like this, you may be patting yourself dry with paper towels and putting them into a bag and disposing them, so you're not going to be contaminated later on. So you want to get to the point where you're basically itch-free. If you're not itch-free, I wouldn't go out. You want to get to the point where you're itch-free, or if you do have some minor itching, if you take the diluted Nature's Gift and apply it and have it go away and control it that way, or take one of the either the lotion or one of the creams and can manage it, or the Super MSM gel, that's fantastic as well at handling these things. Well, that's great. But you want to be able to get from one bath to the next. So you want to be able to get at least 2 or 3 hours where you're relatively free, and then you may be socially responsible to attend a party or a gathering. And great. So now, what tips do you have, Robin?
Well,
what about food?
Yeah, food is a biggie. So my first holiday with Morgellons, I didn't bring anything, and it was awful because I couldn't eat anything.
Yeah.
So if they're going to have hors d'oeuvres, I would suggest getting some rice crackers, or some. There's a company that makes spelt crisps that are like crackers, and they're delicious.
Ryvita?
Or Ryvita.
Yeah.
Any of those are really nice, crunchy crackers. And if you're in stage 2, you can have a little bit of hard cheese. So if they have cheeses there, as long as they're not like Velveeta, you could have a little bit of cheese, but you could definitely have the crackers. You could have
butter on them. Real butter.
You could have crackers with real butter on it. You could have celery stalks.
Right.
Right. You could have. I was able to have olives.
Green peppers.
Green peppers. So if you just can't have the dip because you can't have all the stuff that goes into those dips, but you could have the vegetables. Now the other thing is I bought for anyone who was cooking, I sent them rice bran oil so that if they were going to cook something like string beans sauteed or something, I could eat it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to. And I also, for potatoes, we split up the cooking for holidays, so I told them the only potatoes I could eat were red potatoes, and we'd either make them mashed with butter or oven browned with the rice bran oil, garlic, and paprika. If we make turkey, I would be the one making the turkey. I'd make sure it was all natural because other turkeys that you buy are filled with chemicals and sugars. And I would make the gravy with the pan drippings and a little bit of spelt flour and garlic, and I'd use the
You pretty much took over the kitchen.
I did. I kind of organized it. I cooked the main things that I wanted to eat, and I would cook a dessert.
Now, how do you explain the rationale behind you doing all this when you're going to somebody's house?
I said I'm on a special diet. There's things I can't eat. I mean, I remember when my kids were in college, and they went through, each of them at different times, they decided they were going to be vegetarians. And they didn't tell me till they got home from Thanksgiving. And all I had was this giant turkey. And so, they ate mashed potatoes and salad and green beans, and that was it. But So I tried to be proactive. I said, look, I'm on a special diet. It's for allergies.
Right.
And this is what I can eat and this is what I can't, and I will help out by doing a lot of the cooking.
Right. That's great. So you don't have to get into talking about skin parasites or bugs or anything like that.
You know, and some of my family knows what I'm going through and they understand, so that's great. But I don't have to tell.
We don't have to explain.
We don't have to explain things, and I can make with that cocoa you're talking about. I can make it's like in between stage 1 and stage 2 chocolate mousse with heavy cream and that chocolate and eggs and stevia. It's amazing, and I can make lemon walnut cookie balls.
Yeah.
Like I can make. There's so many things I can make to have a dessert. I recently visited my folks, my sister and my mom, and we got together for my birthday a couple of weeks ago, and I brought these walnut lemon balls for dessert because I couldn't eat the beautiful chocolate cake they made.
Mm-hmm.
And they all loved my dessert. They said it tasted like Scottish scones. And they wanted the recipe, and I brought this giant salad, my favorite salad, my everything salad, and everyone wanted the recipe for that, and now they're making that on a regular basis. So I'm kind of training them, and
But you did mention heavy cream. Now, I've never been able to find heavy cream without diglycerides. Never ever. So
there is organic heavy cream that has nothing in it.
So you're gonna have to find that somewhere
right.
If you want to use heavy cream, because you have to be very careful to read the ingredients. So that's why
you still have to read ingredients.
Cream. So great.
And I'm kind of in stage 3. I actually found whipped cream in a can that only has heavy cream and sugar in it, and I can have little bits of sugar now. So it was really fun because I made this chocolate mousse and I had a can of whipped cream that I used. I haven't gotten to do that in years, but I'm not saying you should do that. You gotta go
keep
slow.
Your diary.
Yeah. Keep it diary.
So you get the picture here. For the holidays, you want to plan ahead. You just don't want to wake up and decide to go and not have planned, because you may get there and there may be absolutely nothing you can eat. You'll be sitting around like a stone on a wall, and if you do try something, you're going to be maybe leaving early because the itching can go crazy quick.
One year, one of the early on. My stepsister, who was cooking the dinner, cooked green beans in olive oil.
Oh.
And I took one bite, and within a half an hour, I had a giant lesion bleeding on my tongue.
Wow.
It was it was horrifying.
It's
fast.
fast.
Horrifying.
It's fast.
So, I got very proactive after that.
It makes sense. Yeah, and even if we're not even talking about the holidays, this is something you'd plan when you go out to restaurants as well. Exactly. I remember many times going to a Chinese restaurant. The family like Chinese. I love Chinese. The only thing is I can't have their the stuff that they put in. So I would make my own solution, I'd melt butter and I'd put in red pepper flakes and garlic and whatever I wanted to. And when I get there, I'd have them steam my vegetables and I'd pour my saute, I'd pour my solution over it, and it was delicious. And I was fine, no problem whatsoever. So the key is think ahead.
Right. And I have little packets of stevia, the good kind of stevia that I keep in my purse. If I'm going out to eat, which is rare now anyway, but I would have a little tiny container of rice bran oil so that I could use, I'd tell them to just put lemons on the salad, and then I'd add my rice bran oil and have a salad, you know.
Right.
If they were any meat or fish or chicken, I would say broil it with just butter, no oils at all, and yeah.
Yep, think ahead, and you can have wonderful holidays. Now, if you're having people coming into the home, into your home, you definitely want to make sure that you have pretty well disinfected the areas that they're going to be in. The furniture, the rooms, you got to make sure everything's disinfected, because you don't want somebody to come in and 20 minutes after they sit down start, what's going on here? I don't know why I'm so itchy here, you know? You don't want that. So
it's much easier in the summertime if you're going to have people over and you have like a patio. You can have a cookout outside. You know, you spray it first with whatever you're spraying.
Well, your garden safe
fungicide-free.
Spray outside.
Yeah, and then just keep everyone outside.
What's that, garden safe fungicide-free with neem oil? Yeah, that's a good thing to use outside. And you use it sometimes inside, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. Of course, we have all kinds of disinfectants in our disinfectant section. We have the organic Benefect. So that's basically it. You have anything to add before we wrap this up?
I think that's pretty much it. But don't be afraid to offer to cook, and then cook the things that you can eat.
Right. And the key is to use that explanation that I've got weird allergies. I'm just going through this. I don't know why, but I found out I got these weird allergies, and I'm allergic to a lot of things, and this is what I can have. So that is your ticket in. No.
And the other.
Yes.
Bring a small little like your tiny spray thing that you have. What do you
Sprayer.
A spray pen. Either with the Nature's Gift or the enzyme cleaner. If you start getting itchy, if your head gets itchy, go into the bathroom and just spray the heck out of it.
Right.
And come back out. You'll be fine.
Right. Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that little pen sprayer is fantastic to be used that way. Fantastic.